Rap singer Eazy-E has lost his battle with AIDS just 10 days after revealing that he had the disease. The 31-year-old rapper died last night in a Los Angeles hospital.
How is it that a mighty artist such as Eazy-E could die just 31 days after admission to the hospital? He was admitted to the hospital last month for what he believed to be asthma and stated that he had no idea how he got AIDS. Physicians indicated that it was advanced stage AIDS, and the death certificate reported pneumonia due to AIDS. Wright found out he had AIDS only after being hospitalized last month due to some breathing issues. Those numbers, however, just do not tell the whole story. A disease that typically lasted for years just ended in a matter of weeks. A rushed wedding ceremony was held right within the hospital. Ownership of a multi-million-dollar record label was transferred in the blink of an eye. We got married in the hospital because he wasn't sure if he was going to survive. And his biggest competition, Suge Knight, years later spoke about an HIV-infected needle as a means of murder. So they came up with this new thing out there. People sell them all the time. They got this stuff, they refer to them as they get blood from someone with AIDS, and they shoot you with it. This was no longer a straightforward medical tale. This was the biggest mystery ever in hip-hop history, and almost 3 decades have elapsed without the answer to this question. Eazy-E was hospitalized at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles on February 24, 1995, with bad coughing and breathing difficulties. He thought it was a routine respiratory ailment, but medical records indicated that his immune system had been nearly wiped out, the Los Angeles Times reported. The disease was diagnosed as pneumocystis carinii pneumonia, a common opportunistic infection among AIDS patients. He was hospitalized 3 weeks ago with trouble breathing, seemingly unaware that he was infected with the AIDS virus. Only days after being admitted to the hospital, Eazy-E's condition took a turn for the worse. Early in March, he was nearly unable to breathe for himself and depended upon life support. On March 16th, lawyer Ron Sweeney conducted a press conference in Hollywood. I would like to take my own dilemma and make it something positive that will touch all of my homeboys. There he released Eazy's last message. In this utterance, Eazy openly disclosed that he had AIDS, and the message was soon posted widely in main papers like the Washington Post and Newsweek. Eazy-E's utterance sent shock waves among the hip-hop generation. It broke the silence that had long engulfed HIV/AIDS and compelled many artists as well as fans to deal with a disease heavy with social stigma. 10 days after that, on the night of March 26th, Eazy died at Cedars-Sinai at 30 years old. The funeral took place the following day at Rose Hills Memorial Park in Whittier. The Los Angeles Times reports that over 3,000 guests attended, with MC Hammer DJ Yella and numerous other famous attendees. The ceremony was said to have been solemn, but the absence of Ice Cube and Dr. Dre after his colleagues in N.W.A. produced fractures that would never be mended. For the media, it was a seismic shock. Newsweek referred to Eazy-E's death as a wake-up call for gangster rap. A once seemingly invincible artist in the world of hip-hop musical feuds lost his life prematurely to a disease many perceive to be far from the hip-hop world. A disease that normally requires years before it reaches its ultimate point. Why did it claim his life within weeks? And when one considers the contentious situations around Eazy, from musical industry power struggles to the estate disputes within hours of his death, this death becomes much more difficult to view as simply a medical tragedy. Complicated suspicions around the tragedy. Eazy-E's death stunned the world not only because he died at the age of 30, but also because the course of his illness progressed at a frighteningly quick rate. Based on medical statistics, HIV would usually take 8 to 10 years to become AIDS if not treated. But within mere weeks of being hospitalized, Eazy-E's health conked out and died. This generated a line of urgent questions from the public. His attending physician, Dr. William Young, once claimed that Eazy caught HIV from heterosexual sex. He discounted the suggestions of sharing needles and drugs or homosexual activity, behaviors that society at the time often linked with AIDS. Still, the unusually fast progression of the disease made it difficult for the public to accept that this death was merely a medical coincidence. The suspicions were intensified by the circumstances surrounding EAS Ruthless Records. The label he co-founded with Jerry Heller in 1987 had once dominated the industry with the launch of N.W.A. But 2 years after that, Ice Cube had departed because of financial differences, accused Heller and E publicly of rights manipulation. In 1991, Dr. Dre also departed mercilessly. Here, the exit was violent when Suge Knight, future Notorious Death Row Records boss, reportedly had threatened and resorted to violence to force Eazy-E to cancel the contract. Eazy-E himself described in a 1993 interview how Knight had turned to violence in order to get his point across. These fights did not end with battles in the courts. They spilled over into open public musical combats. Most famously, the song Real__G's released in 1993, in which Eazy-E came out and verbally attacked Dr. Dre and Suge Knight. This tense backdrop led many to believe that Eazy-E's death could not be separated from the rivalries within the rap world. Suspicions only deepened when examining what happened immediately after his death. On March 14th, just 12 days before he passed, Eazy-E married Tamika Woods in the hospital. According to his will, Toma became the heir and took full control of Ruthless Records. This rapid transfer of property and wealth immediately fanned controversy. Mike Clean, E's previous manager, sued, alleging that Tamika and lawyer Ron Sweeney colluded to exclude the Wright family from their rights. A report by UPI in April 1995 outlined the court fight between Toma E's parents and Mike Clean. The fight did not end soon. Years on, Eazy-E's oldest son, Lil Eazy-E, went on accusing his stepmother publicly of cutting the children out of their share of inheritance, even taking it to court. These long-drawn court battles provided the public with even more grounds to suspect that E's death was not a purely medical matter. Aside from records and court cases, witness accounts from those around him also raised suspicions. DJ Yella, his friend and fellow member of N.W.A, explained in a 2011 documentary that he thought the hospital wedding was strange considering he was almost comeomeos at the time. To the public, the picture of a rap superstar marrying on his deathbed and dying ashore while afterward created an air of confusion and contradiction. In addition to a funeral that attracted thousands of mourners and the direct passing of power, there was even greater reason for the public to suspect that Eazy-E's demise was more than the work of AIDS. The power struggles and money issues made Eazy-E's death more complicated than a medical disaster. But it was his former competitors' public declarations that really turned this tale into the hub of innumerable conspiracy theories. Long-standing conspiracy theories. In the middle of each conversation was Suge Knight, the Death Row Records tycoon, who had previously been in head-to-head competition with E during hip-hop's most volatile years of the 1990s. In 2003, in an appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live, Knight uttered a jaw-dropping comment in front of a television viewing audience. He stated, "If you want to kill somebody, you don't need a gun, just a syringe of blood infected with HIV." Then he laughed and mentioned Eazy, without actually speaking it. The implication of E's